Hello guys, this is just one guy and I'm back here with my Mistborn project and I'm working on the last metal, which is Atium. Now for those of you who read the books, you already know what Atium does, but for those of you who haven't, I'll go over it just for all those people. Now what Atium does is it allows you to see into the future. Now the way they interpret this in the books is you see a translucent shadow where the person is going to be that's about to do something. So if somebody was attacking you, you would see a translucent shadow right in front of the person attacking you before they attack you. It also makes you more intelligent and gives you a killer instinct because in the books it's the power of one of the gods. So let's just go in game and see how that works out. Now, as you can see, the first thing, wait, wait, I was doing a bit of testing on the AI, so it has a couple of powers and abilities that it's not supposed to have yet. Let's just go and turn those off, and also stop the AI from moving. Test stop, and take away steal abilities. Now let's go in game and check out how Atium works. Now the first thing you can see is we have a new bar right here, which is Atium. And right here, where the metals appear, when you switch them, just see I have Atium. And now I checked it and it's on. Now it's important to note that Atium burns a lot faster than all the other metals. It's burning slow right now, but that's just because I put a ridiculous amount just for testing. But in the actual game, it's going to burn pretty fast. And uh, it has a gameplay aspect too, because Atium allows you to do a lot more damage in combat. So when you're on Atium, all of your attacks become critical attacks. So you do a lot more. You do critical damage. But not only do you do critical damage, the amount of critical damage is greater too. And that's keeping in line with how it works in the books, because in the books it makes you more deadly, and the reason for that is because it makes you more violent. It also enhances your brain functions, uh, so you're able to be more stable and understand things better. Now, as you can see in game, he has this blue shadow right here, and if I come close to it, it attacks, and the player attacks. Now, the ATM shadow is going to do everything the player does before the player. It's going to do everything the AI does before the AI does it. Just back up there a bit. And that's essentially how the ATM shadow works. Now this took me a while to get down because at first I thought I could just take the animator component and slow it down and then make a copy of it, but it turns out you can't do that. So I had to go through each and every one of my animations and then see which ones I had to specifically slow down or change. The way I achieved this effect is my my attack system. Just to go into a little background for those who are wondering, the way my attack system goes in animation is, let me bring this over. Ah, let's see. The transitions to do the attacks is based on a number. So if I tell the AI to do 4 attacks, it'll do 4 of this specific attack, and 5 of this attack, it'll do 5 of that specific attack. So the way I achieved it is I sent the data to the ATM shadow before I sent it to the AI. And which, it sounds simple, but it's a lot more complicated than that. But it gave a nice effect overall. Now another effect of Atium, let me just stop the AI from attacking. Uh, Stop the Atium shadow from attacking. Okay. And stop any attack. Okay, another effect of Atium is, like I said before, all of your attacks become critical attacks. So if you can see, let me just turn it off. If I were to attack normally, that's how much damage I'd be doing. And with Atium, and I have it set a bit high just because I was testing it, but as you can see, all of his attacks become critical attacks, and they do a lot more damage. Now, another thing I've changed, I don't know if I showed this off in the other videos, is the steel push and the iron pole system. Now in the books, just turn all this stuff off. Go back in, iron pole, steel push. Now in the books, if you push on something heavier than you, then you push away. But if you push on something lighter, it pushes away. And the same with the iron. If you pull on something heavier than you, it pulls you towards it. If you pull on something lighter than you, then you pull it towards you. Now these cubes, even though they don't look like they would be lighter than the player, they represent metal objects that are lighter than the player. So when you pull on them with the iron pull, they come towards you. And if you pull towards something heavier, it'll pull toward you'll pull towards it. Now these objects right here represent giant static metal objects, like that would be inside of a building or something. They can't move at all, so there's no chance of you moving it. And you can just use them to pull towards you or push away from you. You can use this while jumping, which will accelerate your jump and make you move faster if you pull towards it. You can see, rather than me just doing a regular jump, I still pushed off it by accident. That would be the regular jump. What I accidentally did was use that steel cube to do one of those, because you can still pull towards a metal object just by pushing forward. But now, if you use a steel pull in the air, it'll pull you towards an object that's heavier than you. You can also kind of use it in a jump to push backwards, but that depends on how much you're going forward, because it works based on a physics system. So you already have forward momentum, and then you're trying to push backwards with it. But you can also use it to dodge on the ground like that, and it works a lot more accurate to the way it's described in the books. Something lighter than you does that. Something heavier than you do that. This doesn't work with the steel blast or the iron blast, and that's the way I intended it, because these are more just used for objects that's lighter than you. And the last thing I changed is the menu. I went in and I redid the UI, so everything looks a lot better now, as you can see. This took a while, but I'm pretty happy with it now. Everything looks a lot more thematic, and it's just better overall. And that's basically it. Now when I'm done with the Atium, I'll essentially be finished with the base programming, and so I'll start adding abilities, and then I'll start building the game out. But everything so far is pretty good. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for watching.